everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jill, otherwise known as the Enlightened Target, and this channel is devoted to narcissistic abuse awareness and recovery, parental alienation, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, and anything and everything associated with those three main topics. Today's topic is about the god-awful smear campaign that the narcissist launches against a target. They usually happen after they discard a victim, and they always happen if the victim leaves the narcissist or during a divorce or custody battle. Smear campaigns aren't something a narcissist only does to a spouse or intimate partner. However, I have seen this happen with friendships that end, with fellow coworkers, siblings. Narcissistic parents do this to their own children. Basically, a narcissist can and many times will launch a smear campaign against anyone that they feel threatened by for, whatever reason. Usually it's because they can no longer control that person. Therefore, they try and control the way other people see and view that person. So they start by smearing that person's character and attacking their reputation. And unfortunately, they are usually very nasty and incredibly cruel. The smear campaign is born out of a combination of factors. The biggest one, I think, is the narcissist's need to be right and to have his or her version of the truth become the script that wins. The narcissist's biggest concern is winning in all circumstances and at all costs. The smear campaign also serves as a diversion tactic to conceal the narcissist's true character and to, mask the horrible things that they're guilty of. So the goal is to always keep everyone's attention on the target's misdeeds and transgressions, whether those are real or complete fabrications, and off of the narcissist, who is the real guilty party. The intention is to undermine, discredit, isolate, demean, vilify, humiliate, all of those things to the target. There may be a small kernel of truth in that. Sometimes they're just complete fabrications or gross exaggerations. Many times they will also blame the target and accuse the target for the exact things they are guilty of doing. This happens a lot with narcissists. It's called projection. It's a psychological defense mechanism that most narcissists are prone to. They project the bad qualities that they have and are unwilling to deal with or even admit to, and they project them onto other people. And many times the target of a smear campaign will be indeed accused and smeared with the exact deplorable things that the narcissist is actually guilty of. And what is even more disturbing and difficult to understand is that when you are dealing with someone that has narcissistic personality disorder, many times they actually believe their own lies. They are so compromised by the delusion that they've created that they actually believe the delusion, and they are just unable to recognize or acknowledge what is true and what is the fictional delusion. So how do you deal with a smear campaign? Your strategies are obviously going to be going to vary depending on your relationship with the narcissist in question. Is this someone you have no choice then to communicate with at some level? For example, is this someone you share a child with? Or is it a parent? Or is it an ex-lover or a boss? Obviously, if this is a person that you do not have to have any contact with, then the best policy is to ignore it, as painful and unfair as it may be. It's never worth your time and energy to try and defend yourself or reason with someone like this if you don't have to. For those situations that you cannot go no contact with the person, here are my top 5 strategies for dealing with a smear campaign. Number 1, don't engage. It's normal and completely understandable to want to retaliate in kind or attempt to turn the tables. And believe it or not, That's what the narcissist is hoping that you will do, because that will provide them with narcissistic supply. But because they are so much more devious and vindictive, that the chances of us actually being successful at achieving this is very slim. If you engage in this behavior, the narcissist will escalate their smear campaign and the viciousness of their attack in order to win. By not engaging, you maintain your true character, your true values, and that will be what perseveres in the long run. And you will prove that the things they are saying about you are not true, and that that exactly what this was a smear campaign. If you do not engage in the smear campaign, the effects from it are way more likely to disappear sooner rather than later. The other wonderful advantage to not engaging is that it drives the narcissist absolutely crazy. They live for the reaction. That's what they want more than anything from you, is a response. Your anger, your pain, your humiliation. By not participating in the game, you deprive them of any narcissistic supply that they can get from you, and that is far more agonizing for the narcissist than any amount of retaliation. Number 2, respond, don't react. This is such an important strategy that victims of narcissistic abuse can benefit from using, and I can't stress this one enough, how important it is to learn how to respond to the narcissist or the smear campaign, but not react. The narcissist wants you to react with contempt, with anger, with desperation to try and defend yourself and get people to understand your side of the story. But it's a trap. If you react, they will do everything possible to keep you in that cycle. They enjoy this so much. They live for your reaction. And on top of it, they have already set the stage to use your reaction against you. They intentionally say the most horrific things, trying to provoke the absolute most dramatic reaction as possible out of you, because it will be a beautiful demonstration that validates the lies they've been spreading about you. When you deprive them of the expected, desperate, angry reaction, you pull the rug out from underneath them. You change the game. They will not be expecting that. It will throw them completely off balance and will ruin their plan. You have ruined their plan to use your reaction against you as proof that you are all of the things they have said, that you are unstable, that you are mentally ill or crazy. What you do is respond, and that can be something as simple as a statement to them or others that everything that they are saying is nonsense and that this is unfortunately typical behavior for this person. Or maybe you could say something like, your opinion of me is noted, but your response is unemotional and short and to the point, and then you move on as if it does not affect you. This will starve them of the narcissistic supply they're dying to get from you, and it will help to negate the lies that they have been saying about you. By responding, not reacting, you take your power back. That is your power. You have empowered yourself and ruined their game and their strategy that they're depending on. I have learned this lesson the hard way. I have been at the receiving end of some vicious and vile smear campaigns, and I have seen with my own eyes how powerful it is to respond, not react. It isn't always easy, but it's always the best and most successful strategy when dealing with a smear campaign. Number 3, focus on what you can control and not on what you can't. Unfortunately, there will probably be some people who actually believe the narcissist version of the truth. There will usually be some damage done to your relationships or your reputation. You cannot control what other people choose to believe. Your job is not to try and convince anyone what to believe. The truth will prevail. I sometimes refer to enduring a smear campaign to the saying, this is a marathon, not a sprint. The smear campaign may work in the short term, but in the long run, The truth will always prevail. The only thing that you can truly control is yourself, your reaction, and your behavior. So my advice is to focus on conducting yourself the polar opposite of everything that they have said about you. Conduct yourself with class and dignity and hold your head up high. Those that choose to believe the smear campaign against you will sooner or later be thrown under the bus by the narcissist. So that's usually only a matter of time. Also, sometimes you will realize that many of the people who sided or believed the narcissist were not healthy people to begin with, and not the kind of people that you would want in your life anyway. It can be sort of a blessing in disguise because it can really root out some other devious or ill-meaning people. Number 4, implement the gray rock method. The gray rock method is a technique that you can use to get the narcissist to lose interest in you and hopefully move on rather quickly to targeting someone else. The goal is always to get the narcissist to leave you alone. So whatever they may be envious of or jealous of or threatened by that has provoked their interest in you, you get rid of whatever you possibly can. If they are envious of your beauty, stop putting on makeup for a little while. Stop fixing your hair. Try and look as plain and ugly as possible. If they're jealous of the car you drive, possibly trade it in for a real, piece of crap for a while, just until, they have lost interest in you. If they're jealous of your social life, stop posting on all social media. Stop going out for a while. Become as boring and completely uninteresting as a gray rock. You want them to have as much interest in you as they would in a gray rock. So if you can identify what it is that you have that they want and you can get rid of it, so many times pathological envy is behind a smear campaign. They cannot stand to see someone have something that they believe they are deserving of or entitled to. And this envy will drive them to do horrible, horrible things to a target. I speak from experience when I tell you that the gray rock method is a powerful tool that you have in these situations. I know it isn't fair. None of us should have to actually do this to get someone to stop harassing and terrorizing us. However, the reality is most times what they are doing is either not a crime or not a crime that you can prove. And if their pathological envy is driving them to do this to you, then utilizing the gray rock method for a few weeks or months is a small price to pay to get these people out of your life. Number 5, observe, don't absorb. This is a technique that Ross Rosenberg coined, and I personally think that it is brilliant for people who have to deal with narcissists in general. But it is also a very good strategy to have in the forefront of your mind when you're dealing with a smear campaign. The observe, don't absorb technique is exactly what it says. You observe the behavior or the lies being told about you. You do not absorb them. You do not internalize what's being said about you. You have enough perspective about what's happening that you do not allow yourself to get sucked into the game. You do not internalize the toxicity. You kind of disconnect from the meaning of the words. You don't drink the Kool-Aid, so to speak. This strategy is more for yourself than anyone else. It's a way for you to protect yourself, because if we internalize the harm that the narcissist wants us to internalize from this horrible behavior of theirs, it will inevitably harm us. We do not have to absorb the things that are being said about us. We do not have to eat what they are serving. Okay, that's going to do it for today's video. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel. I will be putting out at least 2 videos a week. If you know someone who might benefit from seeing this video, please share it with them. And also, if you have any questions, leave it in the comments below, or if there's a video that maybe you would like to see me, or a topic that you'd like to see me do a video about, please let me know in the comments below, and I'd be happy to try and do that for you. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.